Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Bandai Tamashii Nation's Pacific Rim Uprising Robot Spirits GIPSY Avenger figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
Taking a quick look at the artwork on the side of the box, you can see a picture of GIPSY Avenger, the Robot Spirits logo. It says GIPSY Avenger, and on the opposite side it says GIPSY Avenger again, and the same logos, more the same logos. Alright, let's get this guy open. Alright, so I got GIPSY Avenger out of the package here, and again, I don't really know much about Pacific Rim. I did see the first movie, but I was kind of like, I don't know, I wasn't like totally into it, to be honest. I do believe that originally this mech was GIPSY Danger or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the person that's piloting this mech is the dude from Sons of Anarchy, whatever his name is. Maybe a picture of him will pop up. So I guess this may be the updated version of that original mech from the first movie. I'm taking a lot of guesses here. Again, I don't really know much about Pacific Rim, but this is Bandai delving into the world of Pacific Rim with Pacific Rim Uprising, Pacific Rim 2, and basically they have the Robot Spirits line, which is what you see here, which is a sort of more affordable wave at 20 to 30, maybe 40 bucks for the robots and the kaiju in this wave, as opposed to the Soul of Chogogan line, which will be a much higher price point at upwards of 200, 250 bucks. A lot of die cast and a lot of moving parts and light up features and what have you on the other figures. But for the price point for these and what you get and the articulation and the fun factor, I think they're actually onto something here. But let's look at his accessories. So out of the package, GIPSY Avenger comes with a set of fisted hands, and you can see those. And then he also comes with a set of open hands with the fingers spread, and these are kind of actually fixed in the upright position, sort of how the Marvel Legends Invincible Iron Man figure, how those hands are. They do still rotate and they do still hinge quite a bit, but they were kind of fixed in this upright position, and I guess you could kind of get them to like push things, or you know, get them to have some leverage. What I really like about these is the articulation. We'll go over that in a second, but yeah, these look cool. And then it looks like you can detach his arm here right at the bend of the elbow. You can pull this part off, and then you can plug in some other attachments. And so there's another option, this sort of pulse cannon or rifle or whatever you want to call it here. You can see the energy kind of building up there around the base. This looks like aluminum foil though. But that's cool. And then you have the same option on the other side, and you have a different interchangeable part here, which I'll pop on. And all of these arms and parts and everything seem to be swapping on and off without an issue. I didn't have any problem. And so this arm can come on, and it looks like some extended sort of blade here, which looks cool, but then you can still swap out the hands on this left arm and use the fist or the open hand or whatever you want. And then if you look at his back, you can see a couple of peg holes there. He's got a couple of more little option parts here. I'm not sure exactly what these are supposed to be, but you can plug in these two little parts here right into those ports. If I can get it lined up, that'd be great. And I don't know if these are supposed to be rocket boosters or whatever they're supposed to be. I have no clue, but it looks pretty cool. I don't know what goes on with that. Maybe you can help me out in the comments. And just taking a closer look at his deco, you can see a bunch of blue, some red highlights. I like the way the visor looks. It's sort of like a yellowish, sort of metallic yellow there. And this core right here in the center of his chest, I believe some energy can emit from there, or that maybe the energy for the actual mech is generated there. I can't really remember from that first movie, but pretty clean paint work, not too much detailing or shading or anything like that. Again, if it was some dry brushing in here and some of these sort of metallic parts, then you know, it would really bring out the sculpt a bit more. And that's pretty much what I felt with the other mechs that I've handled so far. But you know, it's still clean. There's really no paint imperfections, but there could be more paint detailing. But I mean, what do you want for 20 bucks? It's basically just the same price as Marvel Legend. Very nice range of motion on this guy, similar to the other mechs that I've messed around with. The head is on a ball joint that will move kind of separately of the neck. It looks like the neck can move just a little bit, but the head is kind of just rotating on that joint, moving left to right. You'll get a pivot. You can actually probably do a full 360. Yeah, so I think this head can probably pop off here. Yeah, it's on a little ball peg, so you can see how that works. Shoulders are on a double ball peg here, and you can see that under there, so it'll move at 2 points and it'll rotate there. And these shoulder pads are actually on a joint too that can actually pop off. So I popped that off just so you can see how that looks. And so the shoulder pads can move a bit. They don't really hinder the articulation too much, and you can see the full range of motion without the shoulder pad on there. You can get the arm up really high. You could actually do a full 360. You get a double jointed elbow. You get a swivel and a hinge on the wrist. Upper torso articulation, moving left and right, just a little bit back and forth. Same thing on both sides as far as the arms go. Just like the other mechs, the legs get a great range of motion, double ball peg in there, so this will kind of have that sort of drop down mechanism. It'll move in and out here. It'll rotate on that joint. You'll get a double jointed knee, You'll get a hinge and a pivot on the foot. But you know, where it really shines is in the pelvis leg articulation area. You can really get them crouching real low, and you know, this guy's sort of like a ninja. Only thing I don't really like is just kind of lining up the legs and making everything look streamlined, because if you move the upper torso too far to the left or right, you see it's on a joint there. That's kind of funny. So you got to kind of line up everything and make it look streamlined. Same thing with the shoulders, the arms at the shoulders too. But you know, it's like a love-hate relationship with that, because I do love the range of motion, but it can look a little wonky if you don't line up everything properly. And a quick size comparison, you can see him next to a couple of his wave mates. You can see Titan Redeemer on the right and Bracer Phoenix on the left. So GIPSY Avenger here is the tallest of the three that I have. Like I said in the previous review, there's supposed to be 6 robots coming out initially and 2 kaiju at this particular scale. And then at the larger scale, they've got figures from, I believe it was from the first movie, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm definitely interested in picking up the kaiju and kind of pairing them up with these guys and doing a couple of displays and seeing how that works out. But not too many gripes, man. These seem like fun. They seem like really fun figures, superposable. And the fact that they're in this particular scale, you know, they're about the size of a Marvel Legend or something like that, you can really do a lot of forced perspective and do a lot of cool world building things with this particular scale, because again, they're supposed to be very large, you know, as large as a skyscraper or something like that. So it is what it is. So big shout out, thanks to Rich for letting me get these a little early and reviewing them. And thanks to you guys for hanging out. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.
That's crispy.